Welcome to Data for Collaboration, Operational Tools for the Student Success Team. This video will provide an introduction to different ways of viewing student success data and how teams can prepare for and track their meetings and interventions. Student success systems leverage holistic, real-time, actionable data to identify groups of students in need of support. Because student success teams are the engine of student success systems, it is important that team members understand the data needed and how to leverage those data in team meetings. Teams analyze the predictive indicators, measures of well-being, and collect insight from staff, students, and families to understand root causes and plan interventions. To support high-quality student success teamwork, these data should be continuously available at both the individual student and group or whole school level, as well as actionable by school and district level personnel. Despite the critical role data play in improving student outcomes, less than half of educators nationwide report having the data they need to support student success. There are some common barriers to accessing the kind of high-quality data that can facilitate effective collaboration among a student success team. For example, many districts find themselves data-rich but information-poor. They have lots of data, but not a lot of clarity on which of it's most useful, or where or how to start to make sense of it. Multiple sources of data, each from systems not connected to each other, can also make it cumbersome and confusing to see trends, patterns, and relationships in the data. The perceived purpose of data can also make it more or less accessible. Because of data's important role in mandatory compliance rules, teams may not appreciate that data is also a vital tool for improvement and student success. Finally, due to the timeline of policy rollouts, we often mistakenly examine data using only one single indicator. Analyzing the two ABCs are a surefire way to see the whole student and avoid siloed data. The key predictive indicators that student success teams look at are attendance, behavior, and course performance, and measures of well-being. Well-being measures include indicators of student agency, belonging, and connectedness. These are commonly referred to as the two ABCs. Data views refer to how teams look at the student data, for example, at the individual student level or a whole group level. Group level data can be disaggregated to help identify clusters or trends. Whether looking at individual student data or group data, both views allow teams to analyze the two ABCs. Here, on the left, is an example of individual student data that tracks attendance, behavior, and course performance. Off-track data is coded in red, sliding data is coded in yellow, and on-track data is coded in green. Using this view, it is possible to see multiple indicators for many students at once. On the right is an example of a whole group data view. It shows comparative ABC data through the school year. In this view, it is easy to track changes over time. The number of students can be seen in the bars to the left on this chart, and percentages are found on the right. The number of EWIs that students are flagging for are included on the bottom of the chart. Data tool pointers. The student success team can begin by taking account of current data tools and deciding whether they need to buy or build tools to support their work. Tools should allow for individual student and aggregate level data, as well as analysis over time and by subgroups. Teams should have access to real-time data that is accurate and centralizes data from disconnected sources. Tools should be user-friendly for educators. And don't forget that building data fluency and investing in capacity building around reading and analyzing data goes a long way. Finally, don't lose sight of data quality and ensure educators are entering grades and attendance in a timely manner. The RISE Data Hub is one example of an individual student data view. This hub integrates different systems for a seamless and user-friendly view to analyze, and offers downloadable student lists as well as customizable interactive charts. Another option is starting with an Excel or Google spreadsheet. Although it can be time-consuming at first, custom-built data views like this one can facilitate a deep understanding of trends, patterns, and relationships. With a few skills and comfort with spreadsheets, you can disaggregate data easily and then form more visually appealing views using tools like conditional formatting, filters, and pivot tables. Excel or Google spreadsheet tools also allow you to look at whole school data views. This can help the team focus on strengths as well as areas of growth. A school can create charts that display the percentage of students falling into different thresholds of the two ABCs. You can create visualization to show key information like the percent of students flagging in a combination of early warning indicators. These disaggregated views can help with Tier 1 and Tier 2 interventions that have an impact on a larger number of students. Once your data views are established, consider how your student success team agenda can support the team's data analysis. An agenda sent out 24 hours in advance with objectives can help prepare team members and allow those that are unable to attend some time to add valuable insights. Using a data protocol can help the team meet productively around the data. Here is a sample agenda a team can follow when looking at individual student data. There is a built-in relationship building activity so the team can model strong relationships. The objectives and norms are listed so that team members can reference them throughout the meeting. There is a space for follow-up steps to ensure the next meeting runs smoothly. Here is a suggested protocol for discussing individual students in a student success team meeting. This protocol allows for teams to stay on task and minimizes side conversations that can sometimes distract from getting to a root cause or intervention. Each student is assigned an adult who is responsible for the follow-up of the intervention. Your team is moving. You have your data views, you're planning agendas, but how do you keep track of all your progress? We are happy you asked. The Student Success Meeting Tracker is a wonderful way to stay abreast of team progress. Individual student trackers help the team by capturing student name, changes in data, the chosen intervention, the school adult that is in charge of the intervention, a date for a follow-up conversation, and allows for further human insights. Here is an example from the RISE Student Hub. In this view, the intervention can be recorded as a task and a due date can be entered for follow-up purposes. It is important to note that some interventions reflect changes in adult behavior, and even those interventions can be logged here. A different agenda may be needed when a team looks at whole school or group data. It shares the same components as the agenda for individual analysis, but with a change to the suggested data analysis protocol. Over the longer term, an analysis of team agendas can be helpful for aiding the team in reflecting on their level of implementation. You can schedule time to pull data from agendas and see how your team is doing. ORID, which stands for Objective, Reflective, Interpretive, and Decisional, is one suggested protocol for discussing the whole school data or disaggregated groups of students in a student success team meeting. There are many data analysis protocols that a team can choose, and if the district already uses one, great. The idea is to use a data protocol to discover what other data may be missing and what groups of students need support. Whole group data can be tracked through a simplified table that you can update regularly. In this group tracker, the team has a space to include data, SMART goals, and interventions tied to root causes. The team can then revisit this tracker to update it with current data and notes from measuring and monitoring the intervention. The Student Success Meeting grounds itself in holistic data views. Running agendas can help keep the team moving in the right direction, and intervention tracking tools hold the team accountable for measuring and monitoring interventions. This tracker can also be used to recognize wins and pinpoint places deserving of celebration. The team is working hard and getting things done. Remember, the best student success system is the one that teams co-create in their schools.